I love football. I cannot get enough of football. I watch it on every level.
The emotional release. You know, whether it's an exciting play that gets you all jacked up and juiced, or whether it's the fact that you're able to pour everything you have. Whatever frustration you had that week, you can put into that first kickoff coverage, that first block that you have, whatever it might be.
And I couldn't think of anything better to do to fill that void that you have as a football player than to get into coaching.
You get a chance to release a lot of emotion that you otherwise have no place to release. There's nothing else like that.
Again, the relationships you build and the people you're around, and watching the guys compete, not just on the football field, but in life after they get done playing. It's just an amazing game.
And don't forget to check out and order your copy of our latest book, Stiff Arming Football Myths. You can find this available in both paperback and PDF form on our website at footballgameplan.com/books. Joe Flacco was able to bounce back from a subpar 2013 season to put together a really good 2014. The best word I could think of to describe the 8-year vet is consistent. Flacco has been just that since his rookie season, and with the way he performs in critical situations, I'd say he can put together another 8 years of quality play. In free agency, they brought in Matt Schaub to have a vet presence at number 2, but I think that ship has sailed already, so it's best if they focus on the 2 young prospects on the roster in Brent Renner and undrafted free agent Jerry Lovelock from Prairie View A&M. Justin Forsett made the most of his opportunity to start by going over 1,200 yards, which earned him a nice new contract and the comfort of coming into the 2015 season as the number 1 tailback. The real battle is for the number 2 job, and last year the Ravens selected Lorenzo Taliaferro out of Coastal Carolina, and this year they took USC's Buck Allen in the 4th round. Both guys are built the same, but in my opinion, Allen has a little bit more natural run skills, and I believe the way he plays in a passing game also gives him the nod over Taliaferro. So this will be interesting to see how it plays out moving forward. And I'm a big fan of fullback Kyle Juszczyk out of Harvard, whose ability as a receiver makes him the ideal and complete fullback. Steve Smith Sr. posted his 8th 1,000-yard season in his surefire Hall of Fame career. Smith also led the team in receptions with 79. Baltimore wanted to not only continue to build around Smith, but also stockpile depth and talent because Smith can't play forever. They'll be breaking in a new number 2 wideout this year and first-round pick Brashad Perriman out of Central Florida. And Perriman has athletic gifts, but he has to improve his route running, and you want to see him become a little bit more consistent at catching the football. I think that leaves the door open for a guy like Marlon Brown to make a claim for the job, as well as Michael Campanaro. But more than likely, you're looking at a 3rd or 4th type of role for those 2. Look out for Jeremy Butler as well. I compared his game last year to Greg Jennings, and he's hoping to get an opportunity to showcase this season. Both Kamar Aiken and rookie 6th-round pick Darren Waller out of Georgia Tech have the talent, but will have to contribute early on special teams. The Ravens are strong at tight end. I'm a big fan of Crockett Gilmore. He's a solid tight end in a purest form, blocking and receiving. They drafted Max Williams out of Minnesota in the 2nd round, and Williams, in my opinion, is an H-back that'll catch everything thrown his way. He probably had the best hands in the draft for a tight end. Baltimore doubled down on the position by taking Nick Boyle out of Delaware, and I got the chance to see him live twice last year and came away impressed with his blocking and catching ability. They still have Dennis Pitta on the roster, but it's tough to say how effective he will be coming off yet another injury. The Ravens have a really good offensive line. From left tackle to right tackle, they got the job done last season. The slight question is at left tackle with Eugene Monroe returning from injury. I thought undrafted free agent James Hurst out of North Carolina played very well in his absence, and in my opinion, he should get the nod. On the offensive interior, you have Kelechi Osamel, Jeremy Zutai, and Marshall Yanda. They were a huge reason why Flacco and Forsett had a lot of success, and you have to like the strides that right tackle Ricky Wagner has made year after year to become a fixture up front. I think the depth here is solid as well with John Urschel, Ja Reed and Ryan Jensen, and the plan is to bring rookie 5th-round pick Robert Myers out of Tennessee State along slowly, and I would also keep an eye on the athletic Caleb Johnson out of Rutgers, who is your quintessential left guard prospect. I'll be interested to see how the Ravens work this rotation up front this year. Gone is Haloti Ngata, but Baltimore could look to 2 young guys to fill that void. Last year's 2nd-round pick Timmy Jernigan and this year's 3rd-round pick Carl Davis out of Iowa. I think you're going to see a lot of those 2 guys this year, as it'll be tough to keep a guy like Davis off the field. Chris Canty is a savvy vet that's consistent week to week, and 3rd-year pro Brandon Williams out of Missouri Southern looks like a perennial all-pro, showcasing the ability to clog gaps, disengage to make the play, and apply pressure on a quarterback. Both D'Angelo Tyson and Lawrence Guy provide quality depth, and a few young players in Crystal Bilokidi, Brent Urban, and Capron Lewis Moore. They have to find ways to remain healthy in order to be a factor. This is the linchpin, the nucleus of this Ravens defense. They continuously get strong play from their backers in that second level. Both Terrell Suggs and Elvis Dumerville are 2 of the best rushers in the game. The duo combined for 29 sacks last season, and Courtney Upshaw plays the run extremely well, and his Alabama teammate C.J. Mosley looks like the new Patrick Willis reincarnated in how well he plays the position. It's funny to think now that some thought that he was an overrated prospect. In the draft, the Ravens wanted to find a replacement for Pernell McPhee, and he did so with Zadarius Smith out of Kentucky, who had an excellent all-star circuit both in the East-West Shrine Game and Senior Bowl week. Darryl Smith has been a solid, steady presence in both Jacksonville and in Baltimore, and I think now is the time you want to start to see growth from Arthur Brown. The problem is, who are you going to take off the field to generate those reps? This is a good problem to have, and I do believe the Ravens have the best linebacking core in the division. I have mixed feelings about this secondary, not too much to where you have to worry, but there are some things that you want to see get done early. For example, Matt Elam becoming the player that we saw at Florida. I think that'll be the case as they're moving him to a more natural, strong safety spot. If that doesn't work, then Will Hill and his 9 NFL lives will assume the starting role. And what you also want to see is Ladarius Webb get back to form. If he does, then it'll be tough to complete passes on the outside with him and Jimmy Smith, who played some excellent ball last season. I like the depth here with Cassius Vaughn and Kyle Arrington, who will more than likely assume the nickel spot, and I'm a big fan of the 4th-round pick Trey Walker out of Texas Southern. Walker, in my opinion, projects better as a free safety, but he played both corner and safety at Texas Southern. The Ravens signed veteran Kendrick Lewis to start at free safety, which allows last year's 3rd-round pick Terrence Brooks to take his time returning from a knee injury. Stout special teams play will win you a lot of games, and the Ravens get that on a consistent basis. From kicking to coverage, Baltimore excels. This is expected as it's in head coach John Harbaugh's wheelhouse. Kicker Justin Tucker and punter Sam Koch are 2 of the best in the business, and if Asa Jackson can stay healthy, he'll continue to dazzle on returns. I have the Ravens finishing first in the AFC North. Baltimore is strong in the trenches on both sides of the ball. They play great special teams and have one of the coolest in the clutch at quarterback, the AFC's version of Eli Manning and Joe Flacco. What could get them further will depend on the growth of their youngsters on the flanks. And I also want to give a huge shout out to Raven fan forums for always showing football game plan support.